morning. It is Vinyasa Yoga time. I'm still going to be on virtual. Good morning. I can't read exactly what's going on because I have a fish lens out now so that hopefully you can see me wider. I have bought like lighting, so hopefully I am brighter. But as I was saying, 9 a.m. is still going on here on your computer or your phone or your whatever. So if you're not going into Hampshire Hills or you're just waking up or just want to go back and watch this later, we are here for you. And then we are here for you tonight. I'm like so excited to be coming into or going into Hampshire Hills tonight to be teaching some power yoga, and then tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day I'm there. You have me 6 days a week now there. So if you're feeling safe, definitely make a reservation and get yourself there, because the one thing that we should really be working on is maintaining healthy body and mind. And what is the best way to do that but to do mind-body practice like yoga and Pilates and body flow, and then we can do all the other fun stuff as well. So just to remind you that this is a virtual class, and by participating in this video, you are understanding that I cannot adjust you or correct your position. So listen to your body, be safe, let's get on our mat and on our back, and let's begin. After taking the time to move about, let's actually begin by drawing the knees in towards each other, letting them bend, finding the edges of the mat with the bottoms of your feet. And as you roll down, tuck your chin, shoulders down, arms by the side, palms facing the sky. Let the creases of your elbows sink. Let the weight of your ribs sink. And then let go. So as you breathe in, allow your belly to expand, your ribs to stretch, even your chest to get a little bit of an expansive breath. And as you breathe out, slowly let everything go. Do this a few more times. Just see if the mind can slow down, if the body can slow down. We'll keep the knees bent and the feet at the edges of your mat. Just widen the knees apart. Widen your arms to a lowercase T. You could keep your eyes closed. And let's slowly lower the knees to one side and turn your head to the other side. Just a nice little twist of the body. And then pet base of it, back of it, to the mat. Knees come up. And then return the opposite direction. We always keep the feet, the head connected to the mat. Palms flipping, fingers reaching away. We'll take a few more breaths, a few more moments to twist and stretch supine. As you finish up, knees to the left, come back to center, walk your feet in. Take your right knee up, interlace fingers behind the knee, and stretch your left foot long, stretch your left leg long. As you just take this moment to stretch the thighs apart, keep the pelvis neutral. The belly is starting to activate some strong muscles to root, to support, so the shoulders can relax. And now just pull a little bit up so we're not heavy in our hip, and begin to circle. As we circle, Begin to root the strength of the belly down. Now the key is we're still breathing. We're still breathing expansively. It's called a Dirga breath, or 3-part breath. When we breathe in, the belly, ribs, and chest expands, and we breathe out, and then all releases back in, contracts. But we're working the strength of our core muscles, right, to stay from moving around as we circle the knee. And you can use your hands, but I'm showing full view here. That's reverse direction, the belly rooting down, lifting a little bit out of the hip as you just find your own mobility. We're all different. Now keep your chin tucked, and as your knee slowly swings back around, take it above at the low knee shin area, and then exhale, curl, and use the muscles of the belly to help you roll up. And the back remains wide and stretched out. We keep the base of the neck long and work the core, work the belly, ribs to hips to see if you can curl up. Left thigh roots heavy to the floor. Now let's see for a moment. You can always back out, you can always take a break, but stay up, work the core, bring the hands down, keep the chin tucked, the shoulders wide, bring that left knee in. Take the hands to the knee, gently squeeze. We're still working the core strength, and as you can see, because I can breathe and talk, that we're still breathing, so make sure you're not and then holding that. So full deep breath into the back body and the front body, and then slow and steady. Use your muscles here to lie one vertebra down, head, neck, shoulders come together to the floor. And then begin the circling over here. You lift a little out of that hip socket, so we're not grinding and weighing into it. The muscles of the belly, the thigh is strong to help support us so we're not all over the place. Try keeping shoulders at ease, keeping shoulders relaxed, steady through the muscles of the ribs, and reverse direction. You can use your hands or not. Already feeling the effort here, right? So as that left knee comes back around, go ahead and hold it. Go ahead and hold it right above the top of the knee. Take that right knee in. We take the feet together and let the knees open, but don't let them weigh down. So let them lift up, float up a little bit. Bring your hands behind the head, and we're going to keep the legs right where they are, and we'll roll up to meet them. Inhale, slow and steady, come down, keep the ribs low. Exhale, slide the ribs to the hips, so we're keeping the legs still. Roll it down. Curl it up. And down. Now when you curl up, I invite you to stay. Now from here on your next exhale, see if you can just curl the low back. Just a little. The buttocks curl up, or maybe not. Maybe you stay with that contraction, but there isn't too much of a movement. Now the movement, if there is any, is a stretch of the back body, that low back, strength in the low belly here. Now ease some of the weight into the hands, and that's going to give you a nice stretch into the back body. Keep the belly strong. So to stay upright, we're using the belly to begin to rock, or just make that motion almost like we're about to rock, is the low belly. We'll do this a few more times. You know, I'm so excited. We're not working like it's a Monday morning. We're working like it's a Thursday morning. So this is what we'll do. Preference here, yours. You can roll to the side, or you can rock up as the knees come together. And then we'll come around and into child pose. So take a moment, stretch yourself out, rock yourself a bit from side to side. Feel your breath. Oh, good morning. I hope you guys aren't just watching. but you're on your mats or on your floor and you're moving. So we're in child pose. We're rocking it back and forth, a little side to side. We're feeling the stretch of the shoulders. We're feeling the stretch in the hips. We're getting a little into the groove of the sunshine and the coolness of the day. Let your toes spread wide as we prepare, pulling the hips back, stretching the arms long, maybe the hands a little bit wider, and we rise. But not too seriously. We're going to smush a heel down, keeping the opposite leg bent. And let's stay here for a while. And just see if you can move your sits bone here in your bottom. Move it around. Stretch things out. And then let go. Complete bowing of softness here on the legs. And then take the opposite heel. Smush it down. And just see if you can move things around. The bones. Let it go soft. Stretch longer. Keep that length in the spine. Press your first heel down again. Maybe even see if you can float the toes up, fan them out. Keep pressing the thigh back. Relax the shoulders. Now don't sink. I was about to get into that sink mode, right? Keep lengthening up and pulling back. See the difference? Sinking and strength and length. Now let's go to that opposite heel. Keep pulling back. Toes are wide. And then walk yourself right up. Keep the belly strongly lifting up through the hips, the leg. We come into our glorious ragdoll. We hold on to our elbows. All in the upper back just softens. It melts. Back of the neck releases. So there's a lot of curvature to coming up. We bend the knees. We get our tailbone to slide under. And then we pull the thigh muscles, the belly muscles back. And so much so that from pulling back, we begin to open, lengthen through the back body. Reach the arms up high. Bring the hands down to your heart center. Deep breath out. Let's do that again. That wave of the body. Roll through, lift up. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart center. Open up again, soften, roll it open. Exhale, let your heart open. I know. Soften the knees, get that wave, roll it open. This time, with soft knees, we bow to our magnificence, to the magnificence of others. And then with bent knees, we begin to push them straight, literally pushing hands into the legs until we get to the thighs. Smushing the heels of the hands into the thighs. We keep breathing. The muscles of the belly keeps working to lengthen the spine. The quads pull us back. Creases of the hips. We feel the stretch in down dog as well, yeah? So keep strong. Those inner thighs are spiraling back. The chin is tucked. And then see if you can take the arms out in front. Let the ribs splay open. Shoulders splay open. No sinkage here. Keep a slight tuck of the tailbone, a lift in that low belly, neck at ease. We're breathing full, deep, with an inhale, and exhale. One more inhale, stretch even longer, and then surrender. So get a little lift in the hips as you bow and release. Let the head go. Can you make figure eights with the head as you root the heels? As you strengthen and lift through the sits bone, strengthen the low belly. Right, that stretch is going on gently in the back of the legs. We don't have to straighten them. That will round. Keep a soft bend. Let the head go. Keep the shoulders at ease. And then just let the head dangle. Just let it dangle. With light spider-like fingers, the feet are about 2 fist distance and they're parallel. We want to keep them like that as we move through space. So we'll lift up that right leg, not by drudging down, but by lifting through the belly, the hip bone, and then stepping that right leg back. Knee comes down, toes, top of them to the floor. We pull back as we scoop the tailbone under. We stretch the right thigh long. Take a deep breath in, right arm reaches up. Take a deep breath out, right hand, left hand, tuck toes. We're lifting and stepping that right foot back to the front of the mat. Take that left foot, lift up to the hip, step the foot back. Lower the knee down. Now the right knee's over the ankle. Scooping the tailbone, pull back. We stretch long through the left thigh and side. Reaching the arm up, deep breath in. Stretching long, shoulders wide. And then taking the hands back down to the floor. This time, bring your right hand down. We'll step that right knee back. Keep the back body wide, and we're in modified plank. Slowly come down until your elbows hug into your ribs, and then slowly lift back up. And feel that transition of the eyes of the elbows facing each other. So I'll give you like a little side view here. I'll even come off the mat so you can really see the eyes of my elbows here. So modified plank we're in. You can see this eye, it's facing inward. Now we're all different, so it'll be at different parts, but there's a point where we roll out and then in again. And this helps to lock the top of the back body, the shoulder blades. And then from here, I want you to feel that spiral again as you roll back up into plank. And it's all being done by the belly, the thighs. I said I'd show you all the ways we can see here. So we're in this modified plank. And it should feel pretty good. It doesn't feel good when you're weighing your weight down. So lift up through the thighs, the belly, the ribs, the chest, all that stuff. And then when you come forward, and we should be doing this if you're at home, practicing this. So get to just that point where you bend in. We're not going all the way down, just to that point, and then see if you can float back up. So as you get tired, we'll take a break in child pose. Okay? Roll it back. Let those arms stretch. Let the weight of the head go. Feel the shoulders roll out to the sides, and maybe even flip the palms and then let them roll out. Take a deep breath in, and then lift the hips, palms splay down to the floor, tuck the toes, and we begin to find our down dog. One that's a little stiller than what was before. So it might not be perfectly still. You might be doing a little bit of a walking, especially if you're really tight. You know, maybe you are walking a little bit more. But for the most part, we're finding our pose here. We're finding our posture of downward facing dog. And again, those ribs are not coming out. I know it's so easy. It might feel good in the moment. We'll take a deep breath in. And then as we breathe out, we'll bend the knees. Bring the right heel to buttocks and extend the leg up high. Stretch long. And get that split. And it's easy to open that right hip up. That's why we do it. But for now, I want us to lift through and in between those hip bones. And see if through a lift, we're not grinding down, through a lift up out of that left hip. You can make sure those hips are square, right? Nice little lift to the center of the belly. Extend back into that right leg, the right toes. I know we're holding here. Take a deep breath in and then slow round. Work that knee up under the chest. Knee ankle aligns. We're in high lunge. Open up through the shoulders. Get light on the fingers. Keep the chin tucked. Taking a deep breath in. Let those thighs open. The knees stretch apart. Inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Take that right leg, step it back. Now find this nice deep lunge. Lift through the thigh. No lazy heavy knees here. Lift through the quads. Extend and stretch. Outer hip square in. Shoulders wide. Keep the chin tucked. You're looking good. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Let the hands float to the floor. Lift up through the chest. We're going to take this left leg. Pull back through the thighs and the belly. Come into our happy dog here. Our down dog split. Make sure those hips aren't opening out to the side. So lift through the center of the hips to keep them lengthened. And then begin that stretch. Notice the shoulders are starting to feel bunched up. Pull away, lengthen. Widen the shoulder blades, lift through the ribs. Keep breathing. Strong, full, deep breaths. Inhale. And then as you breathe out, bring your left leg down. Bring your knees down. Pull the hips back. Flip the palms open. Take a moment to just melt and feel. Can you turn the process of thinking constantly off? Get into the sensations of feeling. Notice the good, the bad, the neutral. Notice it all. Let it go. Let's flip the palms down. Now rise back up into downward facing dog with the toes tucked under. Pull and lengthen back. Deep breath in, and we'll look forward. Let the hips lead us up so we're not heavy, whether we're stepping or whether we're doing a soft hop. Bend the knees as we're at the top of our mat. Scoop the tailbone under. Inhale, wave your way up to stand. Palms come together. Exhale, we bow. Get as curvy and loose as possible. Inhale, thighs press back. Find that half fold that we did a little bit ago. And then lift through the hips, soften down, relax the neck, the jaw, light on the fingers. We'll step right foot back. Pause here. Feel that great stretch. Keep that lift. Palms light to the floor. So we have the eyes and the elbows facing each other. Can be modified or full. And then we played a little, so there's that point, right, where the elbows come in. This time come down, scoop from the tailbone, thighs rest, pull from the palms, pull the hips in to help this curve happen, and upward dog. Really get this beautiful lengthening. We're not sinking. We're taking a few breaths here, so if you already rolled into down dog, maybe roll back again. Give up dog some love and attention. One more deep breath in, we lift up from the wrist, we roll the shoulders back, we lift the jawline just a bit, and then exhale, roll through, and we come back into downward facing dog. Deep breath in, bend those knees, right heel to buttocks, stretch the legs long, keep the hips square, roll. Step forward, knee ankle aligned, drop into that left knee, and then rise up, high lunge. Shoulders wide. Take a nice gracious open heart. Shoulders down. Arms wide kind of pose. Yep. Let the palms flip open. Fingers stretch. And then bring it all in. And then reach it all down. Now you can take it right back into down dog, child's pose, or even keep that leg up or down as we come to chaturanga. Inhale, we find our up dog without heavy hips. And exhale, down dog. If that leg came up with you, bring it down. Maybe we all walk our feet a little bit. And then the knees soften again, that left heel to buttocks, stretch. Reach up, deep breath in. Exhale, round. So nice and curvy. Make exaggerated movements as you transition, slow and steady. Knee, ankle aligns. We dip a little into that right knee so we can pull back. And then good morning stretch. We start here, right? We'll come back here too. And then we begin to widen and expand to where that is. Only you know how that feels. So stretch and go. Don't hang heavy in the back of the neck. Keep that even stretch. We need it so much. The front of the throat and the jaw. And then we pull everything in. We stretch everything down. And we have those choices again. Maybe we're keeping the leg up, down. Maybe we're back. Maybe we've already gone through. I'll catch up. Let's take a few breaths. Down dog, child pose. That is working for you. This is what it feels like to build that energy, that heat. Lift through the hips. Pull back. And then see if you can walk or hop, but with a little spring, a little lightness. Soften the knees. Let's draw the arms forward. Let's come all the way up. Palms together. Keep the tail tucked as we take just a little bit of a back bend. Just a baby one to stretch through the part of the body. And then use the belly to bring yourself back up. Bend the knees, slow and steady, come to the floor. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Fingertips light, we step the left foot back. We've got our wonderful lunge. We're lifting just enough. And we're going to lightly put our hands down. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale into upward dog. Nice stretch. Exhale, we take our downward facing dog. Keep lengthening. Deep breath in. Exhale with soft knees. Right heel to buttocks. Thighs straighten, a little bit of a split happens, and we roll and step. Foot down, knee ankle aligned. Maybe the left heel comes down, maybe it stays up. We soften that back knee though, and then press to the heel as we rise to navigate, to get the tailbone under. Let's open and stretch warrior one. Let your thighs hug in. Feel the breath move through the body. Now listen, on the exhale, Let's go through our flow. How light can you stay on those hands? Chaturanga. And upward. Downward. Deep breath fills the body. Let's go left side. Soft knees to start. Heel to buttocks. Stretch high. Roll and round. Get that foot right underneath the knee. Soft right knee. And then let's dynamically press back with the quads as you rise. The thighs reach in. And we lengthen through. We find softness and extension. A sense of strength and balance. And we flow through again. Inhale upward. Exhale downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Stretch long through the body. Exhale with that same step or hop. Front of the mat. Those feet, bring them together. Scoop the tailbone under. And let's come into chair pose. Bring the hands down to the heart center. Beautiful. So we'll keep our heart open. Keep the shoulders down. You know, in our practice on our mat, this is a time to stay focused on ourselves, on our reaction to our practice, on our reaction to how we're handling this moment in time. So right now, just get into the body. We're doing some cleaning here of the mind. We're getting strong. We're building our strength. Let's build some heat. Inhale. Reach the arms up high. Exhale. Let's twist to the right side. Now check that left side. Left knee is even. Left hip is knee, right? But you can use that left side to roll back up. We're still in that chair pose. And let's turn to that left side. So steady. I'll give you the opposite look here. Steady with that right side. We lift and lengthen. So it's that right side. We roll. We come back to chair. And we take it to the right. Steady with that left side. So the left side is working even as we roll up through. Let's go through center. To the left we go. Keep that right side back. Strong in center. Let's roll through. Let's come on up. Exhale, fold to the floor. You did great. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, release. Step that right foot back. Dip the knee down. High lunge. We all rise up. Now our hips and our low back, our pelvis, is our main focus right now. We want the hips to stay square, the belly to be drawn back to fill up that low back. We press the thighs back. And we're going to go twisty, twisty, both ways. But I want you to feel the difference through the thighs, the hips, inner thighs, but you want the bones to stay still. The muscles will move through them. All right, so let's start with our arms up high. And then we'll twist the normal twist to the left side. All right, so keep that right hip back and try not to bunch up anywhere. So extend through the arms, extend through the legs. Play with this a little bit. Now let's pull back that right side, steady the hip as we come back up. So this is the tricky thing. I'm not doing warrior two. The hips stay even as we open up. And we don't want to twist so much that we're scrunching to the left side. So we're just taking a little bit of a twist. We're coming up, keeping those hips square. We're going back over to the left. So just little twists here. I love this movement to maybe get some of that sticky fascia to get a little bit more mobile here for us. Maybe we've been sitting around a little more than usual. I'll be honest. I haven't been going the norm that I usually go for the past 3 months, and I can't wait to get back to that. So let's go one more time, twisting to the right. Now, the right thigh should be firing up because that's what's keeping our right hip still, right? Right? So let's come through. A nice vinyasa, nice one. Not a mean one. So we lift into plank. We take a moment to set up. That's what's nice about it. We come forward, elbows in Chaturanga Dandasana. And then we feel that wave of freedom, not getting tight anywhere as we come through the body. Deep breath in. Exhale, either down dog or child pose, but feel the difference. I mean, this thigh compared to this thigh. I even think it's more muscular right now. Gotta balance that out. But for now, breathe. Receive. You guys ready to go again? Let's all come up slowly into downward facing dog. Keep stretching the hips back. Fingers are still wide. Deep breath in. Exhale. Go ahead and bend the knees. Bring the right heel to the buttocks. Inhale, stretch and lengthen. Exhale, roll through. Work the foot, knee ankle aligned. Dip into that left knee. So high lunge on this side as we come up. And again, we begin to find alignment first. And that's what makes things nice, is when we're safe. And then we'll turn to our front knee, our right knee first. Because that's our normal twist. Keep the hips square, so we're strengthening through that left thigh, and then slowly untwist. I want you to stay mindful of that low back, ribs over hips. Keep pulling back into that left hip as you twist to the right. Don't open into warrior two. No. And back up. Back over the right. Stay strong here, my friends. And back up. Twist. I know it's weird. And back up. All right, let's go one more time. And you might say, well, wait. We spent a little bit longer on the first stretch, so we're doing one more extra on the second. So we'll just even it out. If that doesn't make sense to you, it makes sense. It's fine. It's fine. We're going to come back down. Plank. Chaturanga. Inhale through upward. Exhale. Let's go right back into downward facing dog. And walk these heels. Walk them right up to stand. Now take your left hand, bring it out in front. And if you have a block, box of tissues can work fine. You might want to use that. Something to a book, something, a pillow even. And I want you to see if you can grab for that right heel and bring it up. Now we're not opening the hip up. I know that's feels so good. But we're just giving ourselves a little stretch. And we want to fold over so we're not coming up. I'm going to turn to the side here. Keeping those hips square. Now if you're like, oh, I can't do it, but you want to, you can grab your trusty strap, bathrobe tie, do a little lasso, as long as you feel that stretch. You're good. And now let that leg go, shake it out a little bit. Take your block, your hand, whatever you got's going over there to the right side. The hips stay square. And we begin to reach around for that left ankle. Relax the foot. See where you're going here. All the wonderful options we could be playing with. Now go ahead and bring that left foot down, hip width distance. So let it have its place. Soft knees, we come back up. We're working dancer. So if you know me in dancer, don't let that hip out to the side. Right? We're working on this neutral alignment here. So we'll keep the hips square. We'll swing that right arm back, hook onto your ankle. So keep your foot nice and light. Shoulder, go ahead and play with rolling it back in a little yoga mudra-like action. And then keep even through the chest. So don't let that left shoulder come out in front. Let the belly lift, soften into your standing knee, and then use that softness to extend and stretch. And then bend, let it soften, slow, extend. Try to stay even and open. And do this as much as you want through the whole of this moment, or find a moment to dance. Even out the bones. Find your own natural jasana. And then come back to stand slow and steady. Bring your feet a little bit wider than hip width. Soft knees, ragdoll, grab hold of your elbows. Let a little lift happen in the low back. Let yourself go. Bring those two beautiful fists back together. Bring those feet about 2 fist distance apart. Scoop the tailbone. Beautiful. Come into chair. And then from chair, let's begin to work into dancer. So work that chair mode, then work into the shoulder. Roll it a little bit. Keep those hips square. And then dance your way through that Tritasana. Where does it go for you? Maybe it's a little different on one side than the other. Just dance with it. And when you're ready to surrender, bring your foot down a little bit wider than hip width. Again, soft. Come into ragdoll as you let yourself go. Sway from side to side. And you can either go sideways on your mat or begin to waddle your feet off of the mat so that the heels are close to the outer edges. Turn the feet out, bend the knees, roll that tailbone under, and come up. It's not a Monday if we don't do goddess, right? Seems like I always have this going on Monday. Let the buttocks dry and keep the tailbone under and the thighs widening. Now we'll slowly lift up. Great strength. We've been working the quads a lot. And then let's slowly come back down. Relax the shoulders. Now feel like you don't have to be perfectly straight, but that your head, your back, you're resting up against the wall. Feel like your thighs are rolling open, ribbons spiraling open. You know, our body is made up of so many spirals, right? Let's move in a spiral like kind of spiral open the chest, spiral open the thighs. As you come on down, really make sure you're not sticking your caboose out. Right, I see a lot of I can't wait to see bodies, see a lot of this kind of thing in class. And it takes that strength of the thighs, the buttocks, the belly to get you aligned. And you don't have to go down that far. You don't want to be pressing into the knees. Yes, there's another quad thing. It's a quad thing. We're slowing down here. Now slowly rise up. Turn your right foot open. Notice how your left foot, just let it loosely follow. And then see about opening up a little bit into that left hip without putting any pressure on the right knee. Yes, we're working into warrior chair. Reach the arms up, and then it's that spiral of that front knee. The spiral in, right, of the back leg. Let's play with this. Keep the pelvis neutral. Try not to lean forward. So maybe this time, look at your back hand as you come on down. And notice the difference. So I'll get your front hand. Now your torso feels. Do you feel like you lean a little bit to where you're looking? So maybe for the next few, you look out your back hand. Confuses the senses a little bit, doesn't it? Pause as you come into warrior two. Open up to the chest. Reach through your wonderful fingers. Let the bones and the shoulders drop. Inhale, float the arms up, straighten your right leg. Now turn the right foot in a little bit as you begin to work through the left side. You don't want the hips to turn all the way in. We're not forcing them to stay to the long edge of your mat. Let's work the feet. Find that little bit of natural action of when you're moving that left foot to face front and that right foot kind of follows in. And then think of the muscles spiraling as you reach up, spiral to align the hips. And then do that little action, I would call it a test, looking over that back hand. Looking over that front hand, and if you find that you're leaning, maybe Look over the back hand more than the front until your muscles get that memory. Then eventually you can look over the front and you're still hanging cool. All right, let's find our warrior two. We don't just stay complacent. We open, we make all these wonderful micro movements, and then we stretch out wide. We let the chest open. Move the head around a little bit. Maybe there's some tension up in the upper body, the neck and the shoulders. Movement's usually a really good thing. We should keep moving. There's always exceptions. All right, let's look over that right hand, or that left hand, and come up. Turn the toes evenly inward. Hands to your hips. All of us that remember the Rolodex, let's Rolodex ourselves. Let's soften the knees so we can really dive through. Walk your hands as far through the legs as possible. And then once you find that stretch, lift up a little bit through the hips. Lift up a little through the belly. Let yourself go. Let's take about 5 breaths. Now from here, slowly begin to walk your hands forward and walk your feet in. Coming back onto your mat and stretching out into downward dog. Taking your right heel to buttocks and stretching the leg high. And rolling out, bringing that right foot to the front of your mat. Knee ankle aligned, and let that left knee come on down. Pull back, scoop the tailbone, come on up. This is where we can get into that quad stretch a little bit more. Maybe we lift up the back heel and we can grab for, really the comfort needs to be, the weight needs to be on the top part of that front knee, of that knee that's down. If you have your strap close by, you can definitely lasso things. It's easier to use a block. Just a reminder as you're coming to Hampshire Hills, bring your own stuff, please. Mat, blocks, straps, etc. Thank you very much. We're going to let this go. And for anyone that likes their pigeon flipped around, that modification on their back, you may do that. We're going to keep our alignment of the knee in front of the hip. So we'll walk our foot out to the side. We can even bring the foot in a little bit. We'll keep the hips facing down as we do this little stretch. But keep the belly lifting up a little bit. I think that's where some of us, our body doesn't like this because of the pressure in our knee. So if we use our strong bellies to just lift up, keep that downward dog, or that tilt of the tailbone. And not bringing the knee out to the side, it begins to cross over into your sciatic. And it might feel like a really good stretch in the process of doing it, but like a lot of things, it feels really good when we're in the midst of it, and then a little bit later we realize that probably wasn't the best thing. And that's, we live and learn. So again, for those of you that the upright, the pigeon here, doesn't feel right for you, then work back to a modified lunge. Because we're working so much of the strength of the belly, the core, to keep us upright here, and also stretching through the quads. And it's a lot more than just this. It's more of the modified lunge if you're going to do something. So let's come back up from our sleepy pigeon. We're going to let the hips float a little bit and let the tailbone slide under. So we're trying to get the hips to face forward. And don't be shy about letting those hips really fly up to get this position. And then stretching the knees apart, not really forcing down, but finding where a split-like stretch is happening. And this is where if we're upright, if our hips are down evenly low, where we may go into working a little bit more of grabbing for the back foot, getting deeper into the quad stretch, grabbing for a little mermaid action of hooking the foot into your elbow, reaching around. We're going into full king pigeon. We find where our stretch is happening to just stay. Again, check in on our breath. Notice if things are holding on and what it takes to let go. There's muscles through the belly that we want to keep working. Then there's muscles that clench. They don't need to be doing that. And then as we're ready to come out of this, choose either child pose or downward dog. There's something our body naturally goes to, for sure, do that. Unless it's the refrigerator, wait a little bit, or don't fall. So slowly come out of this in your own time, and wiggle in your own way. Child and you don't want to come through downward dog, you could just take a table. Otherwise, downward doggers, we're taking that left leg up and we're rounding and working the knee into nut pigeon to start into our modified lunge. We're going to slowly roll up. Keep lengthening. Again, if there's a stretch here that feels right for you, that goes a little bit deeper, go ahead and do that. And this is great because we tend to compress the low back, which isn't great, but we do that in pigeon. So if we work it here, pull back, use the core of the belly, tuck the tail, stretch long more through the quads. Think of it more as this great front of the body stretch. Back body gets an extension, belly gets stronger. So much beauty is happening here. So we take a little bit of a break as we come into sleeping pigeon. So we lift up a little bit back. We begin to rotate that left inner thigh up. We stretch the legs apart as we sink and rest. Keep the belly lifting just enough so that we're not putting pressure on the hip bones. To go into the next stage. You can flip back around and return back to the lunge. You begin to lift up, scoop the tailbone under, and rise. So if you notice our sleepy pigeon, the bones of our hips are facing down. When we come up, we lift the hips. We take the whole of the pelvis and we take it from down face to up face. So we scoop the tailbone under. Hip bones are forward. Belly is lifting up. We want to keep the ribs somewhere above the hips, not coming in front of them. And again, if you feel like you're low, if you're up and you're balancing and your shoulders are here and you're having a hard time breathing, don't worry about grabbing for that back leg. We're grabbing for the back leg because we need to stretch the body out a little bit longer. Yeah? So if you are already stretched out enough, then you're perfect right where you are. Let's take a few more breaths to explore. No forcing. Find where you need to be at. And swim there. Just let yourself float back and see what needs to let go. Floating is a good analogy because you want to be able to stay alert enough not to sink. Some action needs to take place. But for the most part, you can let go in the shoulders, the jaw. And then when you're ready, let's all come into child pose. We're going to do one more quad stretch that I have a feeling we won't be able to do for a little bit. So we'll use our wall. If you're not near a wall, if you're living in a tent because it's just so nice outside lately, then find a tree. So take a few moments in child pose and then find a cushion for sure. Just grab a cushion somewhere. You're going to bring yourself right up against a wall. Let's bring our right knee as close up to the wall as we can, and bring our left foot down. And then we ride up, and we try it again, as far to the wall as possible. Check out your low back though. Keep your sits bones dropped, your tailbone dropped, ribs even over the hips, shoulders squeeze. Now try to relax a bit. If you're dealing with pain, come out. If you're dealing with some sensations that you can breathe through and manage, let's stay for a little bit longer. Check out the shoulders. Try to stay at peace. It's good right about now. When you're ready, you bring your hands down. You bring both knees to the floor. You let that right leg come out. Maybe even stretch out in between. Maybe a little ragdoll action. When you're ready, and if you have toenail polish on, fellas, good. Anyone know that your toenail polish may come off onto your wall? Have that happen. So bring that right knee up. Left foot is against the wall. Come on through. Breathe, relax. You know what, of course, especially if you feel tension in the knee, back off. If this isn't good for your knee, back off, right? You may find after a few breaths, things start to enjoy it here. At first, the quads are screaming. Carefully, hands come down, bring that right knee back to the floor, crawl back onto your mat. And sit down, please. If you were using a pillow, bring that with you. It's going to be perfect to go right under your knees. Even fold it up if you'd like to. Walk your sits bones back so you have a pelvic tilt forward, and then keep the knees as soft as they want to go as you ragdoll yourself forward. So way to the shoulders, the head go. Takes a few breaths. Really feel the release of the whole back body. One more breath in and out. And a slow roll to come up and scoot those hips underneath as you continue your slow roll to come down. That pillow that's been your front, bring it onto your low back. Let your legs come up. Let your arms open up. Turn your head gently side to side, stretching things out with the neck, shoulders. Releasing the jaw, around the forehead. And then let the knees come down. Moving that pillow out of the way as you bring both knees to the right. Stretching the left shoulder to the floor and the left arm away. You're going to go look at that left hand. We started with a little twist. And we'll end a little twisted. And as that right hand slides under the knees, let's take this twist to the other side. As you're ready, begin to find your way, either taking a moment to rest on your back or coming up into a seated position. Closing your eyes, relaxing the body. Breathing in, may you be filled with loving kindness. Breathing out, may you be well. Breathing in again, may you be at ease, at peace. Breathing out, may you be happy. Inhaling, may you be filled with loving kindness. Exhaling, may you be well. Deep breath in, at ease and at peace. And deep breath out, and you be happy. Be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be at ease and at peace. May you be happy. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be at ease and at peace. May you be happy. And when you're ready, slow movements. You to gently come out. If you're resting, come on up to a seated position. Let's all take a moment to place the palms of the hands at our heart center and bow to the magnificence within our own being. And just allow your head to drop. Truly acknowledge that you are a miracle, amazing being on this planet. And then as you look up, take a moment to extend. Imagine all people, all different kinds, all animals, all beings, and send your love out. We're all amazing gifts. We're all amazing beings. So namaste. Really behaved through this. So, we are all even. We're all beautiful. And I will see some of you tonight, some of you tomorrow, some of you the next day. And I understand if you're not leaving yet and you're not coming to Hampshire Hills yet, that's why we're still offering these classes to you. So peace be with you, and until we can see each other soon, namaste.